All right, everybody, welcome here Inside the Dead, a brand new edition of Dry Heat with Mike Davis. I'm very excited to have this headliner, a headliner who was named Vegas Headliner of the Year 6 times, a guy who you can't put this dude in a box, okay? I was watching him on Star Search at a 10 or 11 years old this morning. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Sting and how he stood him up for 2 hours.
How do you know all this?
See, I know a lot about this guy. It's the great Frank Moreno. Frank, great to see you, my man.
Thanks for having me on.
We're talking Vegas Remastered. We have a special guest in the studio with us who might be gracing us with her presence as well in a little bit.
Yeah.
And Lacey
I know
Schwimmer.
she won't be able to. I know she won't be able to like
Sit still.
stay away for too
Yeah,
long.
okay, good. It's a reflection of love. But we, of course, have to break down everything. Of course, Vegas Remastered going down at the International Theater, Westgate, the house that Elvis played on that exact stage. That's going down August 15th and November 27th, so we're going to break that down. But I want to start from the beginning with you because there's so much to get into, okay? Carol and Frank, your parents, this upright piano in the garage that navigated to your bedroom. But let's start with Star Search.
Well, let's just start with this.
Okay.
This is amazing when you go on a show and they do their homework. We were just talking about that the other day. How some people don't ever know anything. You know a little bit more about me than I know about myself.
No, I can't. That's impossible. But I appreciate the nice sentiment. Listen, I like to do my research. I wish I could be you. I wish I could be a musician. That would be the greatest gift, right?
If I'm ever up for trading, we'll talk. We'll talk.
It's funny because you do such a great job doing my role on Family Business, the podcast. You're just talking about
That's brand new.
The worst gigs you've ever had. You're talking about Denmark. You're talking about all these things, and I'm like, wow, it's so natural. Your ability to be the host, the talk show host, and then you can navigate into all these different roles on stage. So is it a similar thing? Could I be you?
No.
I knew that was a bad thing to ask. But I still asked it. You know?
You have to give everything else away.
Tell me what it's like. I mean, let's be serious for a second because, when you're 10 or 11 and Ed McMahon is calling you onto stage and you're about to do Great Balls of Fire and you're like prepped and primed, my man. I mean, you must have practiced that baby in the mirror for years.
Yeah, it was the only song I knew how to sing.
But you started with Mozart.
I knew how to play the piano. By 7 years old, I could play. Don't know why, don't know how. Knew how to play. Right? We had this old piano. I touched it, and I could play music very young, like freakish, weird stuff, like you see on like the TV shows when you see a little baby at the piano playing Mozart. Like I could do that, and I think I don't know because I don't really have a lot of memories of that.
Yeah,
I think what I had back then, because I could hear like a full classical sonata, piano sonata. A full piece.
Yeah.
And I could hear it at 4 or 5 years old and play it.
Meaning, just so I can understand what you're saying, you could hear a piece of music and then replicate it on the piano by ear.
I can still do that. That's how I...
But
back then, I could also then like play it from the back end to the front end almost like perfectly. Like I could play like backwards, you know what I mean? Like sing the alphabet backwards or something.
You could do like...
I can't do that now.
Wow, it's almost like you're in a Christopher Nolan movie. Like you could reverse you could go backwards you could say the alphabet backwards in music. Basically.
Yeah, but like I could hear a piece, play it super hyper speed, and almost exactly right. You know what I mean? But I could play it backwards. I think I had like a photographic memory back then. I definitely don't have that now, but I still can play by ear. I mean, I can hear anything and play it.
It's so fascinating because for you to have that, upright piano in your family's garage. It was maybe even going to get sold. It gets transferred to your bedroom. You're playing it every morning.
It was a piece of lumber that was sitting in our garage that like they moved it out to sell it. Like, let's get rid of this. It was a yard sale they were having. This was in Santa Cruz, California, back in the day when every neighbor knew each other. It's different here in Vegas and like different times now, but everyone would like yard sale. So all the neighbors are digging through our garbage. Yeah. It was crazy. But here's this piano, and I came home from school. God, I must have been, I don't know. I was very, very young. I don't even want to, whatever the first, like, preschools.
Pre-K.
Yeah, whatever that is. And I came home, and my my older brother picked out a melody, played Star Wars, ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I recognize that melody. And you just did that on the piano, and I went and did it. I just copied him, right? And then I started adding my hands. I'm like, but isn't it supposed to go like this?
Wow.
And I started playing it actually like the song was. And so my mom and dad immediately pushed the piano back into the garage. About a week later, I think the piano got moved into my bedroom. Piece of junk piano.
So
I still have that piano in my house.
you still have it.
Yeah, it's a bar now. It's got whiskey in it.
Now you're saying your parents pushed. They weren't, because your dad had a band and you were playing piano in that band. So why wouldn't they?
That came later. So I mean, I'm just a kid, not even 6 years old. I don't know, some very young.
But wouldn't
kid.
they see you have this gift and you're taking to this instrument? Why would they be shoving it away?
No. They put it in my bedroom.
Oh, so okay.
No, they didn't shove it away. They brought it back in the house
to make sure. Okay.
They brought it back in to not sell it.
Oh,
Like, no,
okay,
we're not going to sell this.
Okay, gotcha.
This kid can play the piano, and it was in the garage for a week. I'd play it every day, like all day. I'd come home from school and just play the piano. And I was really into Mozart and Beethoven and Chopin, and I just liked all that because it was piano. Like a lot of the music that was out in the day that I was growing up was not piano music.
No.
You had Billy Joel, Elton John. That's about
No,
it.
it's a different generation.
Yeah, I mean, there's Jerry Lee Lewis, Ray Charles. That wasn't my generation.
Right.
So the music that was out, like Green Day, Nirvana, was electric guitar, bass, and drums.
Yeah.
So what do I do with this instrument? You know what I mean? So like, oh, well, I can listen to Mozart because that's this instrument. So I got really heavily into that. Started doing all my book reports on Mozart. Into like, because he also started young.
Right.
So I started seeing like, oh, well, I could do this, you know, and they moved it into my bedroom. And then my dad came in one day because he had a band and they would practice in the garage. And I go watch, but they were never thinking, I'm going to play rock and roll music. They go, oh, he's this.
He's a pianist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they put it in there. I'm playing it. My dad one day comes in and he goes, listen to this. And he plays a Jerry Lee Lewis, a whole lot of shaking going on. I'm like, whoa, like, what is this? You know,
Right.
I don't know that guy is not on the scene anymore. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the record is timeless, and here it is, and I'm listening
Right.
to a piece of music, and I'm like, well, and it was so easy for me to do that, because, like, after playing Mozart, it was so easy. So, like, I could copy Jerry Lee exactly.
Wow.
And my dad's like freaking out because he was all into the rock and roll 50s, 60s rock and roll stuff. That was his thing.
So he got all excited that you guys could share an
Yes.
affinity for that kind of music.
So when his band would practice, now I'm 8, 9.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when I was about 7, I started taking lessons.
Yeah.
I started playing everything by ear, and I was playing everything.
And that's when you learn how to read as well.
Yeah, and that wasn't like you need piano lessons. It wasn't that. It was me going. I remember exactly what it was. I bought a Harry Connick. Oh, I didn't buy it. My parents bought me a Harry Connick Jr. CD.
Ooh.
And there was some crazy jazz stuff.
Well,
on
he
it.
had that album, like it was called like 21 or 18 or something when he was a kid, because his
Yep.
dad was a prosecutor in New Orleans,
Right.
and he had all those old standards. And I think Ellis Marsalis was maybe
That's
his
right.
teacher. Yeah.
I love how you know all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I heard that, and I'm like, that's difficult. I don't know what he's
Yeah.
doing. Because with Mozart, it's laid out. Like, you can almost hear where it's going. You know, with Jerry Lee Lewis, 12-bar blues.
Yeah, I mean, when Harry Connick has a musicality that's, I mean,
Oh, he's incredible.
When he's playing, you know, do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? Or when he plays, like, I think he's playing songs from The Wizard of Oz, and he starts making them bluesy and
Exactly.
jazzy. So that's a musicality that's
Exactly.
crazy.
But he's adding that element that I'd never heard before, because I was listening to classical now and now rock and roll.
Right.
He's doing jazz, and jazz gives you the weird chords,
Right.
and all the unique,
The twangs
the
and
different
stuff.
things. So I heard that. I'm like, I'm not sure what he's doing there. Mom and Dad, I need lessons so I can understand what this is. So that's how my.
Interesting. And was your teacher
So
was
my very
sophisticated
first teacher, I
enough
went
to teach you that?
I went to a Catholic school.
I don't know if it's Ellis Marsalis or
No, no.
Bill Evans.
No, I went to a Catholic school, and it was a very old little old lady nun.
Yeah.
Sister Rose was her name. And this was old school stuff. Like, this is where you, like, smack you with the ruler on the
yeah.
hands if you're not doing. But I couldn't grasp the reading.
Yeah.
They always say, like, music and mathematics are so tied together. Not for me.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't understand mathematics.
See, well, maybe I have hope then, because I'm bad at math as well.
Yeah,
so
I
always
never
thought
did
that was
well.
my problem.
Never did well in math. I don't understand it, and like numbers and stuff to me are not to a serious level, but it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But I think that's all because I'm not. I didn't start with sheet music. I started with just the feeling of it. So when I'm looking at the sheet music and trying to, correlate that with the sounds I'm hearing, now I'm so focused on the music and I'm playing somebody else's version of a song, whoever it is that I'm reading, whoever wrote that, right?
Yeah.
Where, not to get like all crazy and weird, but like Mozart, here's a great example. We've been watching this new TV show on Mozart and stuff like that. There was a thing about Mozart where the reality of Mozart was he would write these symphony pieces and stuff like that. Now we go to the symphony, don't applaud after the first, there's 4 pieces, don't applaud, be quiet, everybody be. That's not how that was. It was a party.
Yeah, it was rock. It was its version of rock and roll back in the day.
It was pop stars.
Yeah.
They did not want you to not clap to be respectful. Make some noise. Let's go.
Right.
And also, when he would play one of his famous, bam, 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 he would noodle around and make it a thing. Of course, there has to be a printed version for me to give you, and then you go home and learn this, right? There has to be a printed version. That's how they worked. There wasn't recordings.
Right. So you're saying somewhere lost in the translation, the interpretation of his music, people became very stuffy with their
sterile.
Right. It's become like being at an urgent care, and it doesn't bring the life into the music. And and that's what's so fascinating. But I think if we trace, listen, I wish I had the proclivity to music that you do. I know a lot about stuff. I'm a huge fan of music. I think if you look into guys like I love so much jazz stuff, but like a Fats Waller is a guy who really, if you trace his music and a Louis Armstrong, it really lends itself to what we see with rap and Kendrick Lamar. I mean, so many of these guys, it's in, like, if you think about Ain't Misbehavin' is almost maybe like one of the first rap songs, So
I used to teach a little bit. I'm a terrible teacher because I have no patience, right? I'm a terrible teacher, but I don't believe the worst. No, I'm the worst. I have no pay. Like here, that's a C. That's the middle C. What don't you understand?
But see, I think that's good. See, it would turn into what's that movie with Miles Teller? It would be like that. Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Yeah. See,
I'm like that.
See, that's good. He became pretty good after that. But okay, so you don't have the patience.
I don't have the patience, but I would.
You're like, why can't you just hear it by ear like me? Why are you not a musical genius like I am?
It's just I don't understand like this. Like, I don't get it. But the whole thing, what I always would teach anybody or tell anybody, like as a word of advice for a musician, who do you like?
Right.
Find who you like. Oh, I like let's just say Billy Joel, whatever.
Right.
Well, who did Billy Joel listen to?
Right.
Because you don't just create a sound. You build the sound off of the people you listen to.
Right. Yeah, everybody has those people.
Yeah,
Louis Armstrong, I think it was Sidney Bechet was his guy.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
But you go back in time and you start looking, okay, let's take a new guy. Let's take some piano player like a Harry Connick and say, who did he listen? Oh, he listened to Fats Waller or those guys, whatever, whoever, right?
Right.
Who did they listen to? Who did those guys listen to? It all traces right back to the stem of music, which is classical music.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to like classical music. It does not mean that.
Yeah.
But everything stems back to the roots. It's the roots of music.
Yeah, it's true, and it's funny because when I saw you perform for the first time, I couldn't, it was frustrating for me because I think as not because of the experience was phenomenal. It was at the Palms and I was like, it's fascinating because I can't figure you out. And I think for me as a talk show host, I'm very perceptive. I can figure people out usually very quickly. And I know a lot about music. So I'm like, okay, you start doing like, the 99, glasses, bottle song. And I'm like, okay, is this dude like country? But then like I keep putting you in my mind like, man, he could do Tony Bennett with Bill Evans' album like that. Like I just couldn't, but then you have the Elvis kind of like look and feel. And then, so like I'm trying to like understand what you're trying to do.
I don't know what I'm trying to do. I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to do.
Does that make sense, though?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think what I built my career on, and I'll go back to how that began in a second, but like how I built that was to train anyone who wants to be involved in listening to my music, that I want it to change. I grew up real young knowing music. So by the time I was 10 years old, I had a really good I was on Star Search at 10. I was on national TV.
Right.
I mean, we had like, I don't know how many, 60 million people watching that night. You know what I mean?
It's different than it is today. When back then, when Ed McMahon calls you out like that, your life changes overnight. You know?
And I did, I redid it again. So like the guest that's in the room over there, I went and did a TV show with her.
Dancing with the Stars.
Dancing with the Stars. We had 33 million watching that episode. But now when you look at it, now the numbers are very much
That's
lower.
even, right.
And it doesn't mean that it's slipping. It's a different time. You know what I mean? We go watch Netflix now. We're not going to movies. When Star Search was out, it was Sunday nights. Everybody watched Star Search. We had like 6 channels.
Yeah.
When Elvis Presley did Ed Sullivan, there was 2 channels.
Right.
Everyone watched either Ed Sullivan or this.
Right.
He had like 100, whatever it was. Like,
I mean, the Beatles broke through on Ed Sullivan.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how all this, all that stuff
everybody was
happened.
watching at one time. And there was an event where, okay, it's Sunday, it's whatever time, 8 o'clock. Everyone in the family room, and the family gets together. You turn on the TV manually. You don't even have a remote control.
No, it was a congregation.
All that stuff makes a gigantic difference in music. So we're in a different time now. So I wouldn't even know how to explain the music industry for someone coming up what to do. You know what I mean? It was a different time. So there I was poised at 10 years old in front of 60 million people. That's crazy. That's not normal anymore. Even if someone goes on American Idol now, you might watch it tonight. I might watch it in 3 days on a rerun, right?
Yeah, I think there's, from the outside looking in, I think what you're trying to get at is the fact that there is a power to that moment that is kind of unquestioned. Because, if you are going on Dancing with the Stars today or American Idol or The Voice or whatever it is, you're really not anticipating that singular moment to change everything. Whereas there's a gravity to you being on stage in that moment. If you screw up, or if something, it's kind of like how comedians, when they would go on Johnny Carson with Ed McMahon
and
being there, if
the
he didn't call them all over, that means your career might go to the trash can.
That's exactly right.
It was kind of like you're being knighted by the personal usher of comedy. Like, okay, Gary Shandling just did his bit, come over, wave him over the couch. Now he said, and I've spoken to so many comedians about that knighthood honor and what that meant. On Star Search, if it went one way or the other, it could drastically shape your career.
I can tell you, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Carrot Top, we all lost.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. It wasn't about winning that game.
Yeah, I think Bob Zaney beat Carrot Top, I believe.
It wasn't about winning. It was about being exposed to the people, and being exposed to the people in one big concentrated push through a television.
And it's funny you're mentioning this, because this is what I was reflecting upon while watching this morning was I felt for you to be 10 or 11 years old. Ed McMahon says, we have a youngster, plays and sings every morning before school, from Santa Cruz, California. You come out, you're dressed with the suit and tie.
And he called me Frank Moreno.
Frank Moreno, which is so funny. As you're older now, you go by Frankie. When you were younger, you went by Frank.
Yeah. I hated it. Only my dad calls me Frank.
But what I thought was so crazy about this was you seemed very free. You didn't seem like you had a lot of, you weren't preoccupied with making every note sound perfect and everything. I thought the way you were really focused and fixated on the performance and grabbing the audience, which I thought for a youngster to do is a very high level thing, because a lot of people, I think, would revert to their training and make sure every note sounds good. Everything is like prime and proper. Whereas you, I kind of got the sense like, wow, you're going to start singing, then you're going to shift over here and play a little piano, then you're going to shift back and start singing. I was like, man, you're really going for it. Like, you weren't going to let the moment get to you. You were going to go make that moment, and it was going to be about performance. And I thought that was a big deal.
So that being said, going right back to that 10-year-old me, and here's my dad playing, and he shows me Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
So now I'm all interested in this rock and roll piano thing. So my dad lets me play a couple. It wasn't until later. My dad's this gigantic Elvis Presley fan.
Right.
But it wasn't until he thought, I don't need to show Elvis to Frankie because Frankie wants to play piano. I'm going to show him Ray Charles. I'm going to show him Elton John. Never really grabbed onto the Elton John, Billy Joel stuff.
Yeah.
Phenomenal artists. I just never grabbed it because I wanted either super complex, hard stuff to do or smashing the piano. I never wanted to just play a song. You know?
I mean, Summer Highland Falls. That's not complex,
yes, no,
or
of course. But I'm just saying in the gravity of just the artists themselves. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, well that's cool, but like Jerry Lee Lewis is setting the damn piano on fire.
Yeah. Okay.
Mozart's playing behind his back. Like, I'm like, that's fine. Whether it's true or
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
that stuff was exciting to me.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that. So he never thought about introducing an Elvis Presley figure into me because he wasn't a piano player, right? One day we're in there and we had all these laser discs. You remember laser discs? They were like right after VHS.
Yeah.
And he plays the movie Jailhouse Rock,
Yeah.
Elvis Presley. And there's this one scene where Elvis Presley's at the pool and he's dancing and stuff. and he's, it's a movie.
Yeah.
So Elvis is playing the part of this I don't give a crap kind of guy, And he does the scene. He's at the pool. It keeps flashing to the girls who are, all paid actresses, and they're going, "Oh, Elvis!" And he comes off. The guy hands him his check.
It looks cool.
I look at that and I go, "Well, that is the coolest of all of these things."
Right.
Had nothing to do with piano. I'm like, really? It's about a moment. It's about a moment.
And girls. I mean, let's be real. Come on.
At that
that's
time-
why half of it.
At that
More
time,
than half.
that wasn't super into my brain yet. I
Right.
just like the attention.
The
I guess.
attention. But right, you're still a young kid.
Now
You
when
didn't so there was no Little Richard? I thought Little
Of course,
Richard
Little
you would
Richard,
be
of
good.
course.
You would be
Any of
good
that
with
rock.
a lot of
Little Richard,
Yeah.
Fats Domino,
Yeah.
of course, all that.
Yeah. So
But so I see this Elvis thing, so I'm like, okay, how do I want to keep the technicality of a Mozart, right?
mm-hmm.
And I want the wildness, the carelessness of a Jerry Lee Lewis.
a purposeful carelessness.
Right. And then I want the in the moment aspect of the Elvis Presley, right? Like everyone sees Elvis Presley, and it's hard to ignore the way he looks or the way he dresses, the way he talks. But what I think is the coolest thing about Elvis Presley is it was a connection. It was like he walks in and you're connected to the song in the moment. Even if it's a dumb song in a movie, you're something like you flipping through channels, you'll stop and go like, there's a charisma. And that grabbed me. So like, I'm like, how do I build this? Like I thought about this at like 10 years old.
Really?
How do I build this? I know I want to do this for a living. How do I build this creature, this avatar of myself who can do the Elvis in the moment kind of audience stuff, play the piano like a Mozart, but be wild. So, and right about that time, right after I did Star Search, we went and we watched a concert. My dad took me to a live concert, and it was Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh my God.
And I ended up getting to open for them long down the road.
Really?
Yeah. But Jerry Lee Lewis comes out and he's got a bottle of Jack Daniels on, and I'm like 10 years old. I don't know what that even is. I just know it's bad, right? It's bad. But I'm going, this guy's like a bad guy. He's a bad guy. It's like the cowboy with the black hat, right?
Right.
And I'm watching him and he's pouring a drink and he starts yelling at the band and he's whipping the piano with a towel, and I'm going like, I cannot take my eyes off of this. I don't even know what he's drinking. I don't have any experience with that. I don't know why he's in a bad mood. Is he just a mean person?
Yeah.
Is he in a bad mood? But there's an energy that he's putting off very different than Elvis's energy, right? Like Elvis's energy is very inviting. Jerry Lee's almost scary. And they're both fun to watch. Like I always use the example, there's two high dives and you're at the pool and you're watching, there's this pro dancing, he's doing flip or diving, he's doing flips, and you're like, amazing, that's amazing. And there's another guy over here who's just running,
The belly
flailing, and you're gonna watch them both. They're both exciting to watch.
It is interesting, and it's fascinating that this was so top of mind for you. I guess there's so many thoughts, rushing to my brain, but I guess I'm thinking, a few things. One, do you think you're I guess the first thing is you're so normal to be a guy who started so young and was exposed to these things at such an early age. I've spoken to a lot of people who are at your level, and it's just, you seem like such a normal guy. Even when I was listening to the podcast, I'm like, man, you sound so normal for what you've been exposed to in your life.
I think,
like, do you feel that? It's weird.
No, I purposely do that. I mean,
You're like a normal guy.
I do not like saying if I get a gold record or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't like saying I got a gold record. I think that sounds so weird to me. I don't like I say we got to go record because there's a team of people that help.
Yeah.
And then even as a young kid, it was my parents were allowing me to take the lessons and paying for my lessons. There's always a team of people. You're never your own
But
thing.
why do so many people not turn out your way? Why do so many of those people turn out
because
to be
the industry itself, lends itself towards sheltering you away. Once I did Star Search, my life was immediately either it's going to be I'm not going to do this for a living or I'm going to do this for a living. There's no like, let's see. I just played for so many people and the phone was ringing like crazy. I started doing all the Hollywood after parties for like the Oscars and all that kind of stuff. I was this little freak 11, 12-year-old kid that would set up with a keyboard and like a novelty act, right? Like this, I could play anything. Name it and I'll play it. And if I don't know it, just play me a second.
And
of it
who
and I'll
is
play it.
getting that gig for you? You got an agent and
We had agents come in after Star Search. It was just like easy.
and then you would get paid, and then do your parents take the money and then put it in an account for you, or how does that work? I'm curious about all that. Do they hand you the money at 10 and then you like go buy action figures? What do you do?
So first of all, when you're 10 years old and you're making checks for $5,000-$10,000,
right,
in the 80s,
which is a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money
that
today.
was crazy.
Right. So what happened?
So they would save that. They would put it away for me. Ultimately, we ended up using it to buy pianos and a house.
And what did your dad do besides the band on the side?
He was a dental technician.
He was a dental technician. Okay.
So I would watch him go to work, and he was an artist in his own way because he made the teeth that they put in your mouth. Now it's all computers and stuff,
that's
right?
okay.
But he would make the caps and the crowns.
Okay, that's cool.
So he would take like an impression of someone's tooth and then build it with his hand, like press down with metal to make it the exact shape of a tooth, right? So I would watch that, and that fascinated me. But then I would go like, he wakes up, he gets ready, he goes to work. I don't ever want to do that. Like this just looks like, oh my God, I would lose my mind. Like I have so many thoughts in my mind about being on stages and writing music. Like so many thoughts that like, if I had to be someplace at a certain time, maybe I wouldn't be able to get that song out.
So it was a combination of a deep desire, but also a fear that you did not want to live an ordinary life. You were, when you're thinking about persona and you're thinking about, man, like you're thinking so deeply, not just, wow, Elvis is such an attention-grabbing figure and he has such a natural charisma. You're like, how can I replicate that? How can you even just said an avatar? So you're clearly thinking as a youngster of marketing. You're thinking of all these things about how I can build a career at 10, which sounds fun, but it also is immense pressure for a young kid.
I thought it was fantastic because I felt super special in the sense that none of my friends knew what they wanted to do. Everybody wanted to be a sports hero or like things that are unrealistic goals. I want to be a rock star, also unrealistic goal, but I was positioned just like if you get a guy who wants to be a baseball player, but he's positioned just right. Not only is he good, but he's got the setup ready for him. You got the scouts coming to watch it. You got to have all.
We'll talk about that later too, because Oral Hershiser, your buddy, went to my high school.
He's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta talk to him. He went to my high school actually in New Jersey. But
my friends would sit there. I remember specifically, like I used to play Little League and I'd be playing and I was never good. All the kids next to me are way better than me. And I remember one kid. His name was Marty Pacino.
Marty Pacino.
And he was related to Al Pacino. And he went to my school. He was his nephew or something.
Okay.
He's sitting next to me and he leans over to me. And this guy was cool. And he was good at baseball. And we all got our big league chew in. We're sitting there like 12 years old. I just did Star Search. He looks over. He goes, he was a pretty smart kid. But he looks over. He goes, you're the only one of all the kids here that knows what you want to be when you grow up. And he was also my age, like he was saying that. And like that stuck with me too. Like I'm going like, I know exactly what I want to be. I know I'm living right now exactly what I hoped to live. Mm-hmm. There's elements that I wish I had bigger for certain reasons or smaller for certain reasons. But in the end of the day, all those elements, you look at like a Bruno Mars or an Elvis, or I don't want to be like handcuffed to touring when I don't want to tour. I want to do whatever record I want to make. I don't want someone telling me when to release a record and what record. I have a home studio. So I'm doing it exactly the way I want, where I still have my free time, my freedom.
Yeah, I feel you. The funny thing is, Frankie, is that I felt the same thing, but I knew I wanted to be a talk show host at a young age. In middle school, in fourth grade, I knew.
That's amazing.
In elementary
school.
It's
so I knew rare.
It's a very rare thing. And I knew like Letterman had a big impact on me, Howard Stern, a bunch of people, but I knew in fourth grade that I wanted to be this,
That's
do
awesome.
this. And I do tell when people ask me for advice, which is not often, but when people do, I always say to have a sense of what you want to do early is such a gift, because it's for twofold. One, because you just can start making mistakes sooner and learning things and getting better.
10,000 hours in.
Exactly. You get the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. And then if you kind of just know, if there's no plan B, that's such a big thing, I think, because it's actually.
That's exactly what it is.
And
if you have a plan B, you will not succeed.
You're screwed. And there's a lot of people like Tim Ferriss, who I love, and a lot of these high-level thinkers who they really think it's actually more important to shoot for higher goals, lofty goals, than smaller mid-size goals, because it's a lot easier to actually formulate your way and navigate that stretch to get there when you have something to reach for.
Shoot for the stars and maybe you'll hit the moon.
Right.
Like it's like I was very lucky to, when I was young, not to only, when you're asking about the normal stuff too, I had a big Italian family.
Yeah.
And we were all.
My favorite thing is when people pronounce your name like more in a Hispanic sense. It's like some people, even on Dancing with the Stars, they're like Moreno.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and I'm like trying to like what?
I just
anyway.
stop correcting people because it's like, I mean, everyone says however they want to say it. It's a, but like my family was always. I had cousins that were my best friends. I had. I'm from a family of 5 boys.
Right.
You know, so like, I think the normalcy thing comes from. Whenever I would go out, just to go out or something like that, my mom goes, take your brother with you. He's 10 years younger than me. I don't want to take my brother. Like, you're going on a bike ride, take your brother. Or we're going to do this, make sure your cousins come. So it was always a very inclusive thing for the family. So it was never, as much as like I watch the old home videos of myself and I look like this annoying little kid trying to be on camera.
Right. No, we
But
had brother Tony Joe on the sax. You guys you had a band together.
We had
So they keep you in check. You can't be so phony in front of your Italian brothers.
You can't be a phony, and you also don't really get the opportunity to bask in the wins. And I found that like in my career, I've been super lucky, especially in the last 5 years. Like we've had some crazy wins, like with hit records and stuff like that. Like crazy, like unexpected, and you celebrate it. The first, like we now hold the record for most #1 iTunes singles, right?
Yeah.
First couple times you get one. The first one you get is insane. #1 single in the United States. Crazy. I've dreamed of this stuff, right? Champagne, partying. The second one you get, second #1 is like, wow, we did it again. Third one, oh my God. Once it hits 8, 12, 15, 36, 40, you come home and like,
and
my wife's like, oh, where did you come in? I'm like, #1, yay, baby, good night. It becomes that. And then also when I go to a restaurant,
right,
and someone goes, hey, like, well, you had to release a new song. And if you told someone like, I've got a #1 single, that's big news. But if you go like, I've got X amount, and you say this 124, it's almost unfathomable to have that. So it takes the excitement level down.
Yeah.
If you say like I won $1 million, but if you say like I won $50 billion, I don't even understand that. So it takes the excitement level out of it in a weird way.
I gotcha. I think it's also, parlaying this back to, dreaming big as a youngster. It's like as a youngster, you're not really thinking about the minutia of those types of wins. You're just doing it for the love of the game.
Right. And
I think when you start so young and you have that in your heart from such a pure level, I think that really that can act or serve as a compass throughout the course of your career, and that tapping into that pure genuineness really makes all the difference. I think the crux of that matter is staying pure and keeping that purity and finding a way to still see that. And to me, when I hear you tell stories about like, I want to get to this with Sting, and you get to, I mean, you call him your favorite musician ever. I mean, there's a lot of musicians you love. I love Sting too. And you get to actually be a peer of his.
Yeah.
And then he wants to hang out with you. To me, it's like those are the things that means more than the #1 singles on iTunes. It's like you're starting to like become a peer with these heroes.
What the accolades do are nothing more that, like, I will say the first #1 or the first time something goes gold, it's cool, man. Like it feels like you're getting like
It's validation.
it's validation, and as a musician, we're talking about like what, I could say the name of an artist and you could love them and someone else could hate them, right? It doesn't mean they're good or bad because
It's subjective.
it's totally subjective.
Yes.
And so as a musician, I know that my art is one person's gonna love it, one person's gonna hate it. So you're always in that weird sense of like you're presenting here. Put me a little bit higher than everybody on a stage. Give me a microphone so I'm a little bit louder than everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Put a spotlight on me, and then let me show you a page from my diary.
I'm the same way. Listen, I think artists, people in the arts, people who are in a very subjective field, they're always yearning for a way to make it more objective.
And you want the validation of people to go, yes, you did good on this. And that doesn't mean a gold record. That doesn't mean a number one. But what a number one does mean in music, it's like getting a high rating, and it means that a lot of people gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
They liked it.
I think the older I get and the more that I become, and the less I know, the more I feel like I know. And I feel as I've gotten older, to me, when I watch you on Star Search, I don't think a lot of people, like I started doing stand-up when I was young in high school. I opened for guys like Sherman Helmsley, like a lot of those types of figures, right? So you were opening for Chuck Berry at the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
I'm like, opening for guys, but when almost before they're about to be put into the ground, So I was doing a similar thing, and I think when I reflect on that and when I see you doing Star Search, I don't think the average person understands the vulnerability has to be considered to even put yourself in that position. And that's why I think when people are very, especially in today's age with social media, and they're so divisive and just critical on comments, I don't look at the need for validation as such a deficient thing, because I think if anybody really knew what it took to be that good and to put yourself out there and to be that open
and you don't know if you're good. You don't know if you're good because I might be good to some, and even if I am good, some are not going to like it.
Right. So the feedback is actually super duper necessary. It becomes a necessity. And I think and that's what I loved about your performance. And even to this day, I do think there's a lot of people that just do not consider performance. And it's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I think you really do a good job with that while also staying true to the music, because there's a lot of people that just have no flavor with performance. And some people can get away with it, some others can't. But you really do see that it's a consideration that you really think about. You can tell.
Performance and a hit song are two different things. Like someone could have the biggest hit song in the world, and then you go watch them live and you're like, eh.
Yeah.
Or someone could have the greatest live show, but then you hear their records, you're like, it's two different forms of art, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's something about the whole thing with the validation. When I was 10, I remember very specifically did Star Search. I'm backstage. My nervousness, I can't even explain what it was, and I don't even remember how it was so through the roof. I wasn't good in the sense of what I wanted to be. I could play the hell out of the piano. Here's the thing with Star Search. I was a piano player. You could put me up against any guy, including Mozart, at 10 years old, and I didn't feel unconfident.
Well, your voice progressed so much. I mean, you could just tell.
My voice was nothing.
It wasn't really great.
It was only... We sent in a video of me playing piano, moving through Mozart to Jerry Lee Lewis to everything, right? We sent that in, and they go, this is outstanding. We even got a letter from the president. We sent a letter from the president of the United States.
What?
Reagan, I guess it was.
Wow.
Reagan sent a thing. We have a framed thing from Ronald Reagan going like, your talent is...
it was really the piano was your thing.
I was this exceptional piano player at 7 years old, 8 years old, 10 years old. I wanted to go on Star Search. A band I saw on Star Search called Sawyer Brown, country band.
Okay.
He kind of had like an Elvis-y vibe, and I thought that was cool. He went on Star Search. I see the show because we watch it every Sunday. I go, I want to do that show. My mom sees the little number. If you want to send in a thing, send it. So we had to package up a tape and send it in. We made a recording of VHS. My uncle had a big giant video camera. He filmed me doing piano. Send it in. You wait. It Takes a week to get there, a week to come back, and then we get a letter back saying, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. We don't have a category for juniors musicians. He has to sing." And I don't sing, but I really want to be on this show. All right, let me learn how to sing, because ultimately I want to learn how to sing anyway. So I took a voice lesson from a lady in Santa Cruz, California, where I lived, and she goes, I joined her to take a voice lesson like a month before she was putting on a recital. And we go, "Look, I really just want to sing to get a video to send in. Can you just teach me how to sing one song, Great Balls of Fire or whatever, because I can play the hell out of that." And she goes, "Yes, if you want to be in this recital, we can film that." So I did 2 voice lessons, sang Great Balls of Fire, never sang in my life.
Wow.
We filmed that. I still have that video. We filmed that, sent it in. Then we got called to do the audition. I do the audition, and I have to go play live. went to San Francisco to do audition. I brought my keyboard, set it up. They give me a microphone. I sing Great Balls of Fire. I get the news back. You're on the show. We get the news back. And this is amazing because I'm going on. For me, it wasn't like exposure. It wasn't that. It was like, I'm going on a show I like to watch.
Right. Yeah.
I was 10 years old, and all I was thinking, like, my parents are going like, this is amazing. Like, you're going to be exposed to so many people. I'm just thinking,
I get to be on this show.
I get to be on this show that I like.
Yeah, so it's fascinating because when I was watching, it's like, wow, your voice really, and I think it's a testament to how you've developed your voice. Honestly, it's like now we don't even get to see as much of your piano, and that's why when I was listening to Didn't We, which you got to go on. I'm an Apple Music guy. You got to go on Apple Music and get this from your trio because this Didn't We. I mean, that's you in the beginning playing all that beautiful stuff, and I'm like, wow.
Oh, thanks.
You know, like this is kind of the mesh that I need to feel with you. And it's so interesting because when you perform, sometimes you get a little of it, but you're really thinking about the singing, and you've become one of these guys where it's almost like you think, oh, you just always had this voice. And that's what's so interesting about the Star Search is that to me, it's like, I'm a big sports guy. It's like the guy who comes into the NBA and doesn't have the jump shot. Yeah. He can do everything else. He's got the mid-range game. He can defend, good off the dribble, but he doesn't have the three-point shot.
Right.
And then once they develop that, their game goes to a whole nother level, and they become one of the best players in the NBA.
And that's, I think, so when I did the Star Search, if you watch that tape, it's cute.
It's cute, but the piano is high level.
Now, here was the thing here's why I got really nervous. So I had to go in, and if you look at that video, I'm playing a keyboard. That was my keyboard. I had my little fuzzy dice hanging off the keyboard. My cord is wrapped around the piano. It's not even plugged in. So I had to go in the night before in Burbank and record with the band because I wanted to be the piano player. They're like, we'll have our guy do it. He's a seasoned pro. I'm like, I'm playing the piano. That's the only reason I want to be on the show. I learned how to sing so I can come on the show and play piano. So I went on, I played it. They recorded it. Then I had to go on, and I sang live to a pantomime recording of the band. Those guys in the band don't even have strings on their guitar.
You can't even really see because it's so,
But the piano couldn't be live because it was too much work to plug it in for them and all that. So I had to pantomime to my own self. We go back to the sheet music. I never play it the same way twice, so I don't know what I'm doing. So all I was stressing out about in the hotel room the night before was, how am I going to put my hand in the same place I did last time? I don't remember. When did I do the slide? I don't know.
That's so interesting.
So my nerves were through the roof. My mom comes into the dressing room right before I go on, and she goes, listen, this does not matter if you win this thing.
Right.
Nobody cares. Get that out of your head. Because I was going like, I got to win. I'm going up against this kid who sings, and that's what the contest is.
Right.
And she goes, nobody cares. Let these people see how you play the piano. I go, but Mom, I'm not playing the piano. She goes, they won't know, and they'll see that you're a piano player. They'll hear it, and from then on, you can show them what you do. Did that, and it's exactly what happened. When he announced the winner, again, I don't know math, and he's like 3 2/4 stars. What the hell is that? How many quarters of a star is a star? Like how many quarters are in a star? There's 5 points.
Wow. But what a loving thing from Carol. I mean, wow. Props.
It was amazing.
That was a very loving thing for her to do. But any kid, that, you know what it teaches you? And that's what's so fascinating about that. And once you're in the business and you understand everything, it teaches you how to be a professional, because that's what performing sometimes is. It's not about having the prime ultimate setup and situation. It's never like that.
If you're trying to get something perfect, you will get nothing. Yeah. You have to just find something to do it and attack it as good as you possibly can, and not perfect. And it was about having fun. And I went out there, and the first thing, ba-da-da-dum. I pulled the mic in first time before I even sang. Smashed my teeth so hard. And like I was so nervous and then I finished and I'm standing there and I'm, you know, part of me is hoping I don't win because I don't know any other songs.
Right.
I mean, truthfully, my next song in line would have been "Rock This Town" by the Stray Cats or something.
Oh, okay.
And then part of me is hoping I win because if I win, people will see me. I'm like, well, they just saw me.
Yeah.
So who really cares? So once I did that, and we go home a week later, that phone does not stop. It has not stopped ringing since. Like, and it's not all attributed to Star Search, but that was a mass focal point of look at this. So then what happened was, you do more and more shows. Once you do more and more shows, your voice will start getting better because I clearly have to work on that. And then I knew, well, I want my own band to travel with me. I don't want to be singing with these background tracks all the time, right? Like the last thing I want is to pretend musicians are playing with me. My dad had a band, and the energy of watching, that's also a rare thing these days.
Yeah.
But like in those days, we're talking, now we're going to the 90s, like bands were bands. Like there were Green Days and like there were
Soundgarden,
camaraderie and all this stuff, right? And I knew real quick that's what I wanted to do, and therefore I wanted to learn all the instruments because I would remember my dad being in the garage doing rehearsals with his band and talking to the saxophone player and going like, I want you to do something like boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. He doesn't know how to explain it to him, and this, what the note doesn't go that high on a saxophone.
Right.
Or he tells some piano player, how about something like this here, and he doesn't know. Or do that thing with the clicky thing on the drum, the rim shot or the side stick.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn all those things. So I started learning all the drums, and that's when, I've even talked about this before, that's when my parents started putting musical instruments. There's a bass guitar over there, there's a drum set over there. They became the toys of the house. Like it really became like,
Your playground, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't touch that guitar unless you do your homework.
Right. It became that, and that you can't teach that. I mean, for kids, parents could want their kids to become, NFL athletes or NBA players or the kid needs to want it themselves.
It's everything we know in life. If you want someone to stop doing something or someone drinks too much and you're trying to get them to stop drinking, you can't tell them anything. They have to want it. So I wanted to play music.
Yeah.
That's why I
love that.
I started taking lessons on cello, drums, guitar, everything. It was very hard for me to play guitar because my fingers were so small at that age. And my dad had these great guitars that were very expensive, and like, don't touch that unless you do this. And he'd sit down and actually let me play the good guitar and let me hold it, and he'd show me an E chord, and and I would freak out going like, well, if I had this, I could stand up and really the piano is my thing. That's my
home base.
Yeah, that's my soul.
Mm-hmm.
If I sit at a piano, if I'm in a bad mood or I sit at a piano, I can make myself happy.
Okay, so listen, here's the problem. This is what happens when I love people. You come in here and I have 9 million things we got to get to. We got about like 20 minutes left, so we gotta Lacey's over here cracking up. There's so many things I got to get to with you because you got to come back and maybe you know what I want to come on your podcast.
You need to.
But
you're awesome, man.
So let's talk about a few things. One, piano wise, because we got to talk Sting. I want to talk Tangerine Honey and Lacey and You Falling in Love, all that kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But first, before we get to Sting, all that stuff, at what point can you cash in as a youngster on this cachet that you were on Star Search? And like, I know Al Pacino's nephew was fond of you, but let's talk about the ladies. Like, what starts happening in high school? Like, when does you start feeling like,
at about 15 or whatever I was when I really started going like, girls.
So that really...
Yeah, so there was two aspects to this.
Because that's what we need to get in.
There's two aspects to this. So then everything I was doing became about getting attention from girls.
And
money.
Right.
But that wasn't what drove me.
No, I know, but it's a nice...
Yeah, I don't want that to sound...
It's the cherry on top. Of course.
At that moment, all of a sudden, as a young male, my brain is going like...
So was it one of these classic stories where you're in middle school or high school and the girl that you were fond of wasn't into you, and then all of a sudden you have a superpower and it's like...
Yeah, it's exactly that. Exactly that. But so that played two weird things in my head, and I'll keep this answer short, but like I didn't know what to do with a girl. I've never been with a girl at this age, anything like that. I just know like, oh, I like that girls like what I'm doing. There's something cool about that.
Yeah.
Instead of just people coming up and shaking my hand saying, good job, son, with a cigar, like, here's this pretty little thing. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. And then they're handing me these checks, and I'm going like, this is really cool. I'm doing something very cool. There was the element for some reason in my head. Now, I grew up Roman Catholic at the time. I was like, I was going to Catholic school. There was something in my head, this guilt thing, right? Like, well, can't do that. Can't make it about that. And I remember having like, saying prayers like, if you just give me one hit song, I'll never drink a sip of alcohol. Like I would do, like I just thought, I was young. I don't know what I'm doing. But there was this weird thing where I didn't want to perform at my school. I didn't want a girl that I liked to see this superpower I had, because then she would like me for that. And I went 4 years, all through high school.
It's the Peter Parker Spider-Man situation.
Exactly that. And I was like that was a legit concern of my. They're gonna like me because of this thing I do. But now the thing that I do, if you see me on stage or you talk to me off stage, I'm the same guy. When I walk on stage, I'm not a different persona. I've learned to become. Like we're talking about this avatar thing. Well, I am that now. I crawled into that shell, and that's my home, right? But I didn't want that, so I never performed at school. And like everyone in school, I was just a loner, quiet kid. I failed music class because it was all about reading and math.
What?
And the class was at 7 a.m. and I could never make it on time.
You failed music class.
I failed music.
That is the headline of this interview. How do you fail music class when you?
The teacher
you didn't show up?
The teacher would break his pencils and throw them on the ground and lock himself in his room because I would walk in 5 minutes late.
What school is this?
It wasn't the school. It was the teachers. It was Santa Cruz High School.
Santa Cruz High School. We gotta get into your.
I was in the jazz band.
Your academic records.
Yeah, I was in the jazz band and failing math and failing music, failing both. And with music, there was no reason I should have been failing that because I was really good. I just couldn't sight read on like.
You really were doing the tortured artist thing, dude. I mean, you're failing math, you're failing music, the one thing you're good at, and then you're not letting anybody know your superpower so you can get girl. Wow,
Well, the way this ends,
wanted to write that hit song. You wanted to know the struggle.
No, what happened was we'd do these things in Reno, these Reno International Jazz Festivals where all the schools would go. And they would do a thing where they put a piece of sheet music in front of you and play it. I can't do that. Like, I'd have to sit there and go, G, C. I couldn't do it. The other pianist, this girl, nailed that stuff. She could sight read anything. But I could improvise, and I could hear anything. So they had these contests also where you come in and they go, play something. Or they go like, ba, 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 da, 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 da.
And you could just riff.
And they go, now take that and make me a song. Boom, I'll make you 50 songs right now that could all be hit songs.
Yeah.
And I just start, so I would win the contest. I'd win the awards, constant winning awards for the high school that are all still at the high school.
But meanwhile, you're failing.
So the principal let me pass because of the awards. And my math teacher let me pass because my mom gave her CDs.
Oh, see? All right, see?
So anyway,
it's all about who you know.
So then I'm in high school, I'm a senior, and one of my friends, I'm telling him this conundrum I have about like, God, like, I'm such a loner. Like, I suck at baseball. I'm on the baseball team, but I suck. I'm really good at this one thing, but I'm afraid that I'm going to make all these girls like me because I do that. And then I'm just going to have this fake life, like an Elvis Presley, like a Jerry Lee Lewis, like all my idols.
Well, you know what's so funny you're saying this? And man, I wish we had so much more time. I'm listening to everything you're saying. You're a very purposeful guy. You know, when you were saying you were watching the Elvis movie, it's funny that you're saying this right now. You know what I'm going to say? You're already smiling. You were so taken by Elvis and all the, extracurricular stuff going on around him. But you did say in your answer, all these girls were paid.
Yeah, it's a big fake world.
It's funny that struck you even at such a young age, and that you were so plugged into the truth behind these things. So even the paid actresses that are hot,
right,
showering Elvis with love, that's not good for you. You need the real. So
I wanted the real stuff.
So that's a good thing.
But
you have a nice heart.
A friend of mine, and he was in the baseball team, says to me one time, he goes, "Well, why are you thinking like that, man? Like, do it, and then you can." Like, I'm like, "Oh, what about that girl? She's so pretty. What about that girl?" And they're like, go sing a song, dude. Like, do one of the things in the, what is it called, in the quad where your band comes out and plays. I'm like, I can't. I would go to San Francisco like an hour away to go play. Like, I would go travel to go play. And I'm making all this money and I'm doing great and paying.
But you didn't want to. You didn't want
my family's bills.
You're like Spider-Man saving another city. You don't want anybody to see you in your city.
But he says, you know why they like the quarterback? Because he's the quarterback.
Right.
And I started going like, oh, wait a minute. That is who I am. So I started playing, and then life changed like that. And then I went into this crazy spiral of problems, because I was taking advantage of my situation.
That's got to be part 2. We have a few more minutes left here.
Yeah.
We got to get part 2 is going to be about the problems. That's going to be fun. We'll dive into that because you were very evolved.
When I first met Lacey, who's my wife now.
Yes.
When I first met her and I took her out, I dressed as down as I could. I took her to get a burrito.
How did you first meet Lacey?
I went and saw her show, saw her on the stage. I'm like, oh my God,
So Dancing with the Stars.
Joey Fatone from NSYNC.
Oh, you did?
He introduced me to her.
So Tangerine Honey, you were already a couple.
I was already playing that.
But you were already together. No.
I was playing that. I met her. She came to my show. She took a video of the show, which I was all pissed because she's sitting in the front row and you're not supposed to video. But she sent it to Dancing with the Stars, got me on the show.
Wow.
And then we did Dancing with the Stars. But I took her on a date, but I took her to get a burrito because I'm like, same thing. I don't want her.
Where?
Cafe Rio.
Of course, like a true
I didn't want. I figured I can't do like a Taco Bell. I had to. But just for the idea.
It's a nice burrito. Yeah. Hefty.
For the idea of like that same thing.
Real.
Like I don't want someone to like me. So I'm a big advocate. If I watch an artist, they can't be a poser. I don't want to see.
No,
fake.
I like that.
I don't care if it's good or bad or what style it is. If you're doing the best you can at something that's real to you. If you're singing a song about whiskey, you better drink whiskey. If
I like that.
About girls, you better like girls.
I like that genuineness, and it comes across in your showmanship and your artistry. A few more things. Wait, so when she takes the video, Lacey. Gets you on Dancing with the Stars. You guys do Tangerine Honey together. She performs with you singing.
Yes.
And at that point, you guys have never even made out.
Yeah, well, it's been a couple weeks at that point.
So you guys have. You guys have done a little more than that.
Yeah.
And then, so you're at this point, you're like, wow, I'm living the life. I'm on national TV. I'm with this hot, beautiful girl who's considering me in my career. She's like normal enough like I am to also see beyond herself and what's good for me.
Yeah.
And now we're falling in love and blah, blah, blah.
It was a whole big crazy whirlwind of like a lot of things at one time.
Does it feel different to be performing when you're in love with somebody who has an artistry like her and she's dancing and you can morph those two powers together? Does it bring something does it bring more out of your music?
Like for me, you should do a podcast with her, but she's dancing in this show now. So my whole dream was once we did this, Dancing with the Stars stopped for her. I stopped headlining over at the Stratosphere and moved over to some different places. And we're like, what if we do something together? Well, in that time of trying to build that, we both have to make money and have our careers. So I'm out traveling, doing shows here. She's out traveling, doing her stuff. Like, what if we could eventually get it where we're doing a show together? I would love that because then we could travel together.
And that's a perfect segue for what we have coming up, Vegas Remastered, because it's going to be both of you guys on stage. August 15th, November 27th, Vegas Remastered. We're going to get to see both Lacey and Frankie on stage together. Lacey, go over to, no, you don't have to, just,
where am I going?
We're going to bring you over for a second. This is going to be very exciting. You guys performing together. What is it like? What is it like to perform with this guy? It's
terrible.
My biggest question, Lacey Schwimmer.
Yeah.
Are you Jewish like me or no?
I am. Let's go.
So we have a pizza bagel situation here going on.
Yes.
Italian and Jewish.
Pizza bagel.
My brother.
I love that.
My brother's marrying an Italian girl too. So I mean, so Jewish.
It's
so
all the
it's
same. It's all the same.
It's this. Where are you from, Lacey?
I'm from Southern California.
Okay.
He's Northern California. I'm from the better part of California.
See, look at this.
I'm from the better part of California.
Wait, I mean the part. I just want to know the whole family and the dynamic. I mean, was it a big deal bringing home a Jewish girl rather than an Italian girl? Or they were okay.
Yeah,
or just bringing home me in general.
Bringing her home was definitely a problem. No, her family is very much like my family, where it was, and I know you got to wrap here, but her family was like my family, where it was a family involved I hate to say, like, we call our thing the family business, all, but
Jewish and Italian, everybody's in everybody's business.
Yes.
it's exactly it. And that's how it is. Like, that was just life. That wasn't our jobs. It was life. It was dinner
I actually
time.
have to tell my mom I got to go to the restroom in about 15 minutes. I got to text her and let her know I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. That's a joke. No, but yes, it's one of those types of families. So bring it.
Hers
So
was the
there's a natural, quality to that, which is
Her
very
whole
special.
family's dancers. My whole family plays music, and we just and our work ethic is both.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. Most people would hate it. It's very,
We're
very.
addicted to working.
I love it.
Right, which is a great and that.
But
and,
having her on the stage finally, like for this show, like she could tell you, like when she's dancing up there, sometimes I space out.
We were rehearsing a number, and he decided to throw me a solo dance moment just last minute.
Yeah.
So I do it, and he's supposed to like hoist me off of the piano.
oh,
And he's just staring at me like googly eyes and hearts falling out. And I'm like, Frankie! And I'm like yelling at him.
She's so pretty.
Oh, I'd pay you to say that. But like, it was just really sweet to see
That's
that
a beautiful-
because
yeah.
it was real. It
It's
was a
real.
real moment. And
You got a little schmutz.
Schmutz.
See?
See, schmutz.
Rubbing
He's
off.
already. So let me ask you this as we're wrapping things up, Frankie. I don't want to call you by your boyhood name, Frank. What was it about what was it about Lacey? Because
So when I first saw her-
here's what I'm intrigued about. Because most rock stars, most guys in your position, we'll do the part 2 interview, and I'm sure you had your digressions, but.
They don't like hot blonde dancers.
But the thing is, you're a very deep guy, and I think that purity and the fact that even as a youngster, you dialed into the fact that these are paid actresses clapping like this.
I'll
I
tell you
love
what it
that
is.
about you. So
tell you
I
what it
know you're thinking intentionally about everything.
So
What
I
was
first
it
see
about
her-
Lacey?
I first see her, and I'm at this point now where I'm indulging in my career, and I'm doing all the things I should be. And I see this dancing with this. I don't want to go see that. So I'm surrounded by dancers and stuff all the time, so that's not something that I wanted to go. I like seeing live music, right?
Yeah.
And they got the canned music playing, and they all come out and a little tutu and do a spin. I'm like, yay! And she walks across the stage.
literally my first number. I literally just walk from stage left to right.
She doesn't do anything. She walks across the stage. I'm like, So I start texting Joy Fatone. I'm like, I just want to have her phone number. Like, I want her phone number. So anyway, I start calling, but I start inviting her. She comes to my show. She starts hanging out, and our backstage stuff is fun. You got to come hang backstage with us.
What are you doing on Saturday?
Yeah, you got to
Say,
come. If you
I'm
can.
with you guys now.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
The backstage stuff is fun. 'Cause,
Yeah.
that was always part of the magical dream, right? Like, what's backstage
Yeah.
like? So we try to make it fun. So she's backstage, and so is everybody, right? Like, I mean, every show in town. I don't even want to name all the shows, but Blue Man Group, Jersey Boys,
Accent.
everybody comes late at night,
Right.
knocks on our door, and they come in. I had Crown Royal on tap. It was crazy. She's in there. And she goes, okay, I'm gonna. And there's all these
And I
girls
could
from every
care
show.
less. Like I could really care less. I'm like, I'm good.
and she goes, okay, I'm gonna leave. And I go, oh, well, let me walk you out of the
Yeah,
backstage
yeah.
area. So I walk her out. I'm like, okay, I'll see you, baby. You know what I mean? And she turns around and she goes, I'm not your baby, and walks off. And I'm like, oh, like, because no one ever talked to me like that.
Well, that I'm just a brat.
That's the moment.
So that was like,
the
oh,
moment.
she actually
She's not-
doesn't care about
don't
any
care.
of this.
Right, and she's not going to buy into it. And it's funny that for you were forcing, because you're not a guy who forces. You're always about the genuine moment. In that moment, for you to say "baby" in that moment wasn't a true thing to do because she wasn't.
I think I just talked that way. I think I was
I
just
think you're
doing it.
used to hooking
Just
girls
like, hey,
that
what's up,
way,
honey?
and
Hi,
it
Right.
didn't
baby.
work
and
on
it
me.
didn't work with her.
We're not in that era now. Like, now I can't do that. But like,
No.
this was
Right.
15 years ago, 20 years ago. I'm going on, hey buddy, hey baby, hey honey, hey bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everyone, but like I said it to her, and like she was adamant that like, don't call me that.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's very intriguing to me. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
so I got her a burrito, and she put me on a TV show.
Wow.
And
Well, listen, Cafe
That
Rio.
dang it was a wet burrito too. I
Oh.
just want to preface that, which is the grossest thing to watch someone eat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You gotta love somebody.
Oh,
if
he was
he
all
was
in
deep in love. If
It
you
was-
she was over there with her
bone dry
matzo
by the
ball,
end of it.
matzo ball soup.
Don't shame a matzo ball.
do not do that. Listen, you guys are bringing the matzo ball and the minestrone together, and we
Matzo-stroni.
Wait,
Matzo-stroni. That's your new single. Didn't we? And mazzastroni.
And pizza bagel.
Listen, I have to. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have to go to Sin City Beat. I got to go host a sports show.
All right.
I wanted to.
We'll do another.
I wanted to. Yeah, I want to talk. Maybe when I come on your show, we'll
do it.
We'll talk Sting. I got to ask you all about Sting.
Yeah, I got great Sting.
I
stuff.
just like, dude. Because of course, we all know the songs. We all know the Police. We all know his solo stuff. But like every few months, there's a new song I come across, and it just like the other day I was listening to. It was such a roundabout way I got there, but Kurt Elling, who is a jazz singer, he sang August Winds, and I never heard that song before. And then it took me, and then I was like, wait, this is a cover of Sting?
Yeah.
And then I started listening. I'm like, this is so beautiful and haunting.
If we sat down and like dissected Sting, not to be like, hey, just put it on the background, like let's sit down and like listen to it.
Yeah.
That guy's an alien, man. I mean, like that stuff's crazy. He's big into the classical thing. He likes Bach, so he listens to that and he wants the surprises.
Yeah, he just had a live album in Norway or something with like a whole orchestra. He does cool stuff.
Tell him the story of how we almost ding dong ditched him in Italy.
Oh yeah, well on the next episode we went to his castle in Italy and
you were gonna ding dong ditch, but.
Yeah, next episode. Next
episode. My God.
We'll talk Sting stuff in the next. I got a lot of.
Okay, we got so much to talk about.
Hey, you're great. This is great.
This was so much fun.
Do this for like a profession.
I listen. I'm still waiting for my version of Star Search to occur. I need Ed McMahon to come back from the dead and say this young man does this every day before.
This youngster.
Youngster. Maybe he'll call me Michael instead of Mike. A whippersnapper. Yeah. A nice Jewish boy. Listen, everybody's got to go see Vegas Remastered. It's at the Westgate, one of my favorite places to hang, the International Theater. We all know Elvis played on that exact stage. Frankie even steps on the spot on the stage. I've hosted some events there, and I've stepped on it too, but it doesn't feel right. So for him, though, it always feels right. You got to make sure you go see Vegas Remastered. Lacey and Frankie on stage together, going to make everything happen August 15th, this coming Saturday, and November 27th as well. Guys, great to see you. This was a pleasure. So much more we got to talk about. We got to talk piano, guys. Keith Jarrett, Bill Evans, my dude. God. He's my favorite of all time.
You got your stuff down, man. I like it.
Do you play an instrument?
I kind of toy around with stuff, but I want you to teach me. If you could teach me like Waltz for Debbie, get me like.
I'm warning you. He really is a terrible teacher.
I'm a terrible teacher.
I want you to scream at me.
I could tell you what to tell him, and you tell him.
Okay. You'll scream to my person. My person can
tell him to hit that note.
Okay. All right, guys. This was Dry Heat. Thanks so much for being with us. And August 15th, go check them out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Westgate. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.